Thank you. It's like I can finally think straight.
Alright, hey y'all, it's Pizza Hulk here, and I'm in Fallout 4, Settlement Domination. I recently did a video about how basically the Fallout 4 mods are dead. I was trying to do a modded playthrough, really just a... Thanks. Just building playthrough, honestly. Focusing on making some cool stuff. I actually started the series called Rebuilding the Commonwealth. Unfortunately, just after just a mess of trying to get mods on, taking mods off, trying to get the game started, finally getting the game started, keeping the game from crashing, and running into an issue where I cannot save, well, I kind of gave up on it. And I kind of did a video on how I think that, you know, modding for the PlayStation 4 Fallout 4 is just, it's not a thing anymore. It's not really working. So, I've decided to kind of give up on that situation as far as using mods is concerned. I think I'm done. But I do have this playthrough going on, and I thought, you know, this playthrough is also my railroad playthrough, where I'm trying to... I haven't finished the game as the railroad yet, so I thought I'd do one of those. And then I want to get the idea out there of building your own economy in Fallout 4, and that's something you can do in the base game or in a in the old modded playthrough, however you want to do it.
I gave up alcohol.
It's real simple. It's not anything too brand new necessarily, at least as far as part of the idea. And part of the idea, of course, this is right down here. Hey, buddy. And that's these guys down here, and that's my water, my purified water coming in, and I should be getting about 200 water. And wherever I can get 150 to 200 water, I try to get those in those settlements, and then what I do is I travel around and I pick up purified water, and I also pick up my crops, right?
Seems to be growing well.
And then what I really try to get going is to have 10 settlements with 6 merchants in each settlement. Now that gives you 60 merchants to sell to in your own settlements that you can fast travel to, and that you don't have to worry about, you know, traversing dangerous areas or just going to Good Neighbor and or Diamond City. Any other places you can find merchants around the Commonwealth, Far Harbor, etc. And you know, give you just a lot more merchants to sell to, which means that and trade with. That's the other benefit of having all this purified water around. I can pick up mats if I'd like from those merchants and trade them for purified water. And then if I can, you know, sell the rest of the water that I have, like good old Trashy here, and get her cash too. Thanks. Am I dressed? Good enough. And then right here you can see we've got 1,642 water, and I believe I've done this before, but we'll do it again real quick. The best price you can get is 16 caps per water. So there's 26,272 caps sitting right there. And that's just what I've got gathered in there. There might be some more in my workbench. Sort of depends on the last time I was here. We'll run down and have a quick look. You never know. Oh. None in there right now, but that's okay. There'll be some more eventually, and you just pluck it out and keep using it. So let's look at how many settlements we've got going here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So we've got at least 10. We've got a few more than that. And I just kind of wanted to do a quick run around to the different settlements. I haven't played this in a while, so I kind of want to see what's going on at some of these places. We don't have Jamaica Plain hooked up. And honestly, there's a few I'm missing along the way. Along this road, I wouldn't mind picking up a couple of extras as well. So yeah, so basically, 10 and 6 is the basis, but if you want to do it, you could do it at every single settlement, if you want to have 120 merchants to sell to, well, you can do that too. Uh, it might be a bit on the overkill there, but you generally have a few merchants in most of your settlements, at least a bartender, right? I like to have a general goods store. So I can purchase anything I need and get materials. Alright. So, I think what I'll do is start with that and just kind of do a quick run tour of my settlements. See if how well I can illustrate my point. I know I've got a few up and running. And then also maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll grab another settlement or two and do some building. See how we feel here in a bit. Welcome to Sanctuary. Sanctuary is, it's a little overbuilt. Unfortunately, I made some mistakes, but that's alright. We've got a lot of room here to build still. If I was interested, we're not even halfway. This is a massive settlement. We can do a ton of building here. And so, even though I've got this massive structure sitting here, it didn't end up getting used at all. I decided to make things a little bit more simple, but this will give you an idea of kind of like some of the stuff I like to build here. This is generally where I like to put the the trade thing you get from Bunker Hill, where the roving merchants can come. That's another thing that you can of course get to add to your settlement. So not only can you have your 6 merchants in your settlement, but you can also have the roaming doctor and what's his name? The guy who sells armor and guns, and you can have these guys show up here in your settlements, and even add more traders. So I was gonna put that here like I usually do, and then have my traders up here. It just didn't kind of work out. Changed my mind, I suppose. And went for your basic wall. And just kind of shortening the settlement, as it were, to a more manageable area. Now, one of the things I like to point out about Sanctuary, if you don't go through and get rid of all the seating, well, you're going to have a hard time finding all of your people. Now, I'm curious to see if I did it here. Usually I do, but there's no guarantee. Come on, lady. And you can see that there are people wandering around up in here. But it does look like I've gotten rid of most of the seating. So if you're having a hard time finding people, settlers here in Sanctuary, you might want to go through and make sure they're kind of either blocked off for certain areas, like this here in the back, which is also going to help keep bad guys out, right? And then also make sure you're getting rid of all that seating that just is floating around. I don't really want to have too much going on in these houses. Sometimes I use them as part of my builds, make them shops and individual houses. But for the most part, there's Trader Riley. Hey, what's up, lady?
Got some stuff for sale. Care to have a look?
We need to get you an actual job,
Sure.
don't we?
Let me show you what I've got.
But we've also picked up Trader Riley. She hangs out at a fish plant, I think it is. Or maybe they make potted, I don't know. But she can wander around and be a trader in your settlement, or you can assign her someplace to go. General goods store, I believe. So. Now, I don't know if she has any higher level loot, like Carla or my buddy, the ghoul from Good Neighbor. But certain people you can assign to stores, and they will end up with actually level or tier 4 loot. So you might want to give that a try. So we'll start off and we'll run over here to Red Rocket. We'll see what we got going on here. Red Rocket is a place that I generally use to pull in settlers. I want to check my settler numbers too, because more than likely I'm trying to shuffle people out of here, just kind of bring them in. Sanctuary is a good place to catch settlers. You tend to get quite a few in here. Yeah, so let's see if this is on. Good, it's not. Okay. And so that's kind of also want to see. I want to see where I'm drawing in my settlers. If I have any beacons on. Yeah, any other, well, any other settlements I got going on. You'll have to excuse me for the coughing and the hacking. I've got the COVID.
You give small men big power. Sometimes you.
So yeah. Oh, hey. That guy just dropped out of the sky, bud. That's good luck on that, huh? Yeah, one of my favorite mods I like to use was called Dogs Not Brahmin. That one didn't seem to be breaking my game, but it's hard to tell which ones are actually anymore. So these guys walk around with a dog instead of this monstrosity, which helps keep them from getting stuck inside your houses and wherever else they go. So here we are at the Red Rocket. This is generally what I build out here, especially in unmodded or even modded. And it's just the kind of situation structure that I like to put together. Again, I'm just looking for a nice bit of water and food, the things that I need to pull in settlers, and we do have this one on, so this is sort of an active settler catcher for my settlements. We got 13 here right now. Now, it would appear, I'm going to go check the beds real quick, because happiness is going down, and that tends to happen when everybody unassigns from their beds. I don't know, we still have some people assigned. But as you can see, I've got it set up here to get my merchants going for that 10 and 6 rule. Let's see, looks like we've got at least 4. There should be a bartender in here. That'll be 5, right? People do come up here. They will sit up here and eat and hang out, and they'll even come up these stairs. The way I usually build this is I get some, ladders and hook them together to get up top here, and then I place this stair right here. And there's some trash down that you can use sometimes to also kind of start your ramp, but it wouldn't let me set it there this time, so we started it here. So you put your stairs down, you build your ramp onto that. I mean your floor here, and then you build out and you build down actually, which is a little different, but yeah. So we got the bar up here to keep people occupied and having fun, and add a little fun to the settlement. And we also had a little extra area I was going to do some maybe goofing around with, but it's just not necessary. So but you do you and how you want to do things and set things up how you like it. But this is one of my favorite setups. You do want to be careful because for whatever reason your settlers can get stuck in this. They'll just like when you fast travel here, they'll be actually down there, actually down in there, so we'll get trapped here for some reason. And we do have a couple of people not with any kind of jobs that I could send to other settlements, but first I need to go find out which settlements to send them to. So here's my basic red rocket. Like I said, it's nothing too fancy. Actually, let's put this guy on the guard so I can find him again. Wasn't you, was it? No. Yeah, come here, buddy. There we go. That's what I do usually. I come and pluck some guards or whoever happens to be unemployed and send them to another spot. I've got a nice little garden going here, and part of settlement domination, you want to have your food in, I usually make some giant farms to produce the extra food that I need. But you can also gather this.
Seems to be growing well.
Every time that you come to your settlements, and you can either throw it in your workbench for later, or you can take it and sell it to your own merchants. Or to other merchants from around the Commonwealth. I always try to make sure that people know about the purified water part of it, but let's not forget this all makes money too, right? So there we go. There's the old Red Rocket setup, and pretty much in almost all my playthroughs, that's basically what I do here. I just don't, I've had fun building here and doing different things with Red Rocket, but at this point, I really just use it in almost, like I said, every every playthrough to capture settlers. Now you won't see anything like really role play because when I can't use the OC decorator, which is another favorite mod of mine, that also doesn't seem to be what's breaking my game, but I'm not sure. But that's the problem. I mean, basically, I've just whittled myself down to just a few mods left. And it just it won't let me save, so. So usually what I do is I go straight for Sanctuary to Red Rocket, get that going. Yeah, these two settlements set up. These will be my first two. And make sure that they've got their beacon on and we're pulling in settlers that I can send to some of these other places, right? And a lot of times when I take some of these places over in particular, like out here in the middle of nowhere, for instance, there might be a beacon on at Eager Tours right now. So that way I've got people coming in as well as people that I can send to the settlement from there. Hey, come on, Deacon, let's go. So run over to Abernethy. Now, Abernethy probably doesn't have a lot going on. As far as building is concerned, this is one of those places. Oh, I guess I did flush it out. Well, good for me. Abernethy's one of those settlements. It's weird about where you place your merchants. If you place them too far away from the center tower here, they just don't work. They'll stand there and wipe the counter down for an eternity, but you can't actually get them to sell to you. So it looks like I ran into that problem because I can see a lot of these little freestanding merchant spots over here. Hey, buddy. Do you not have a... Huh. You would think. But let's double check. Nope, don't have one here. Okay. Well, hey, buddy, I need you to move. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Or where exactly I'm going to stick this dude, but whatever. Let's just get him out of the way. Okay. Alright, Moo Cow, whenever you can. So, what do we got going on? Well, we've got a few merchants over here. I don't know if I've got 6 of them here, but this is one of those places I turn into a big farm. Why? Well, we got all these cool crop rows, right? We've got tons of room to plant, and if you don't know, you can make these tomato plants grow pretty close to each other. Tomato plants and carrots are great for getting a lot of food in. Like, you can get these carrots even closer to each other if you wanted. Although they don't provide very much money, you can make drugs with these. And then, of course, this should be plants and stuff, but we had to stick another store over here because, like I said, you can't really build them anywhere too far away from this structure. So if you try to get too far away, they don't work. So down here, we've got all the relevant tools and storage. Workbenches and things that we can use to make what we need here.
Just partnering up, it's weird.
Nothing in the storage yet.
The stealth boy and bug out.
Okay, buddy. You talk way too much. And then we got a nice little guard set up. You really don't get attacked from too many spots except like this side right here. which I want to leave open so they can at least get the torch to get on them, but they'll pretty much get stuck on this fencing. Can't really get in anyway. I just want to show up what the plan was. Of course, now this was the bar originally, but again, doesn't work. So I guess I could pull a lot of this stuff up and just scrap it. It's not really that important. Just leave the wall. But this is an illustration of something I like to do and I like to point out, and that is, I should have brought a suit I could fly in, but that's alright. Using your structures, your actual buildings, to work double duty as also a wall. So, in theory, they could go to the bar here, hang out, sleep back. You know, they will use the sleeping bags. That's not a problem. And pretty much self-contain them into this particular area. And then, of course, this is our wall, keeping out the bad guys. But we had to make things work, didn't we?
I love to make trips to Diamond City.
Do you,
So
Lucy?
much to see.
Yeah, you're looking pretty rough, Lucy. Looking ready to fight. I'll check upstairs. I don't, you know, so I do like to build on top of this thing, but I don't know if I did this time or not. Looks like it did. Stuck another store in here. They will come up here and work. You can put a bar up here too. Also works. Looks like we got plenty of protection going on. And this is another place that I like to use for catching settlers. But I don't think I've got it active right now. I just want to make sure real quick. Alright. And you know, you can bring this to whatever level of protection that you want. I just know that you do get attacked from this side and the opposite side, and that's sort of where I mainly want the protection. They can wander in from the back as well, so, and that's more of like a provisioner bringing them here, or less than the actual attacks. That's looking pretty good. Like I said, nice big farm, lots of food. You know, with the night, you know, with a couple of big farms and some provisioners, you don't necessarily need to have food. Same thing with the water. I've got 200 water coming from Sanctuary. I could pretty much hook up all my settlements, and I wouldn't need to put any wells in or anything like that. As long as I've got a provisioner going, that 200 water will spread out to as many settlements as it can go. But I like to make extra water and extra food, because that makes me extra money, right? So we're good to go here. Like I said, nothing too fancy or anything. I try not to go too crazy in a unmodded playthrough. Keep things a bit more simple if I can. So, there you go. You got your workstations over there. You got a wall. We got our surrounding wall for protection against bad guys. We got some choke points set up in case they do get attacked. Now, I haven't made contact with the Minutemen, and I generally try to wait as long as possible, or not even bother with them if I'm not doing that kind of playthrough. But next up, we're going to bop on over to Sunshine Tidings. Sunshine Tidings, I don't, you know, when it's modded, I'll throw a bunch of ground water purifiers down here too. And kind of make it a water base as well, but doubt that was the case here. And we just, like I said, we pretty much just got a massive farm out here. Oh, look at this. Huh. Oh, the animation doesn't even match up. There we go. Simmer down. But yeah, so you got all these nice rows in here. You know, it'd be nice to have a scrap mod and get rid of all these crappy bushes and what have you. But we'll take what we can get. Now, this is a good place for shops. I don't tend to run any issues. You can pretty much use some of the housing that's here if you want. I do have a modded version of this place I really like to use. It's called Sunshine Tidings, a Tragedy. It's pretty fun. It's got a whole little story to it and everything, and
I miss the old world.
it uses different types of housing. Much better housing. But one of the things I like about Sunshine Tidings is it's not that hard to defend. You tend to get attacked through this area right here, right off this main building, and from the front.
This unit is...
And we've just pretty much left it available, you know. Well, people can still get in and out of the settlement, but we've at least got a bit of a blockade set up. Apparently I was having fun with some random stuff I can put down. But yeah, it's really easy to wall this up.
I've never lost anyone before. This failure is new to me.
Alright. And as you can see, I did make this a water settlement. So we're pulling in 103 water. Excuse me. We got our power set up here. I try to protect my power whenever I can, of course. You still want it accessible, but... And there's another example of using a structure as a wall. We've got this blocked off. We got a nice chunk of water coming in, lots of food, some stuff for them to play with. And like I said, you just kind of wall it up from building to building through here. You can pretty much keep every kind of baddie out without doing too much work. Another reason why I like this settlement so much. You can sometimes, I think you can put like a sleeping bag down in here, but you can't really put much more than else. But you could have people, in theory, sleeping in there. Of course, you can use some of the structures that are left behind, but they're a real pain in the butt to get in and out of. And you also run into this crap here where these guys just, they won't ever go away. Not without a scrapper mod, so. And like I said, I'd love to roleplay this and set up a TV and have some cool stuff and a table full of drugs and drinks and food and a kitchen and the whole 9 yards, but mods are broken, people. They just don't get updated, and unfortunately, too many changes have gone through things like the Creation Club. Now, I want to talk about the Creation Club. I thought, just because I just recently talked about it, I'd go see if there was anything going on in the Creation Club. Right? What kind of new, exciting things are going on in the Creation Club? Well, if you know this game, you played this game, and you've been playing it for a while, you know there's absolutely nothing new or going on in the Creation Club. They are having a sale on the crap that you can get from them, the same old crap, and they're giving away, hold your breath now, the Silver Shroud Pip-Boy. Whoa. You can get that for free right now, guys. Yeah. And you know what? If you use a mod that changes the Pip-Boys, I guarantee it's going to break that mod for you. That's right, it won't work, or it'll crash, or it'll blue screen, or it'll tell you don't have enough memory to save. And when you say, well, oh man, maybe my modder's updated. Of course they haven't updated, because they made that mod 3 years ago. And they haven't even played Fallout 4 in 2 years, okay? So that's why mods are broken, and that's why I don't deal with them anymore. So anyway, everything's pretty good, pretty well set up here. I don't really need to do anything else. Let's see if we got any water here. And we do. We've got 61. We'll grab that. And you can see my the other food I'm growing here is starting to build up in here. I've stated before, I don't really understand this because it picks random stuff and it takes a really long time to build up over time. That sounds good. Anyway, but it will eventually start to stack in here, or you can pick and throw your stuff in here. Now that way, if you're connected with a provisioner, you can make any kind of food, chemicals, etc. that you need that stuff for at any of your other settlements. So for instance, if I come over to this cook pot, any of the meat that I have in any of my workbenches, I can use that to make stuff here. Look at all that purified water. So this is a good example. So it's showing 356 purified water for me to use, right? Now I usually pluck most of my purified water out of my settlements and take it to the special drawer for me to spend on my merchants and on other merchants to get those caps, to get those gear, to get that high level, you know, chest piece that has a strength addition on it or whatever. Legendary. Woo. So what that's letting me know is that if you add up all the water that I have in my workbenches that are connected right now, that's 356 water for me to pick up, minus the 61 that I just grabbed. So 356 plus 61 is 417 times 16 caps is 6,672 bucks. So I've got $6,000 plus just sitting around in my workbenches for me to go pick up. Well, it actually, well, I had canceled my mistake. It'll also show you how many potatoes and whatnot I have, right? Let's go to soup. That should help. Or no, we could go to vegetable starch. There we go. So as you can see, we've got 103 corn sitting around, 201 mute fruit, plus the purified water, 76 potatoes, and that's just what's sitting in the workbenches in the interconnected settlements for that have provisioners. So quite a bit. And that's what I'm talking about too. The other thing that you want to remember to do, and it is an important part of the process, and is also a good way to make money, but you want to go
Seems
around
to be growing well.
and remember to get this stuff off the vines.
This unit is ready to serve.
Alright, so run through, pick your stuff. You know, some ingredients are more important than others, but if you're starch farming, this is a good spot to do it. Go get all your stuff like this, right?
I've never lost anyone before. This failure is new to me.
Grab the goods, right? And then of course you can run over to your workbench. Like I said, you can either sell it, or keep it on you and, you know, use it while you're wandering around, or toss it in the old bench for recipes. So, and that'll add to the total of goodies we've got. Now we're up to 117 corn, 213 meat, fruit, 87 potatoes. So. I guess, you know, one of the things I always want to make it so people who aren't really into settlement buildings, maybe they see a different way of doing things, and that you can keep it simple. You don't have to get into some kind of big roleplay type situation if that's not your thing. And you don't even have to spend a ton of materials at some of these. I'd say we're probably, what? You know, about 3/4 of the build size. With a lot of that being really just the plants and the walls. A few buses. I like throwing those down, and it makes for an easy wall if you don't know. But yeah, if you got them, use them, I say. But yeah, this is pretty much a done deal here. There's not really anything else to do. You got 18 settlers. We got a ton of people farming. We got 54 food here. We've also got our merchants somewhere around. And here we go. We got a few up front here. And you know, you can come here and sell your stuff. Alright, let's pop in the Starlight. I kind of want to take a peek at the numbers, see, like I said, I want to make sure that another thing you don't really want to do and that can kind of screw up the game in your settlements is if you go over the amount of the population that you're allowed to have, which is 20. Once you get 21 people in a settlement, things start to get weird. So I try to keep that from happening. Alright. So here we got Starlight. Not an untypical build for Starlight for what I do here. You'll find a lot of your issues are going to come from this front area. It's mainly because your provisioners are going to bring in problems. You tend to get quite a few bad guys. And I can see some Yaogwai right there. What an unfortunate time to reload, huh? But that's exactly what I'm talking about. This area, this little covered bridge, there's almost always some kind of bad guys hanging out here. You know, could be the bears, could be super mutants. A lot of the stupid robots are down here from that robot thing. Whatever they're called, the rust buckets or whatever. And this also, for me, tends to be a bit of a hub. Who are you and what are you doing out here?
Let's trade some things.
Sure.
It's just a random settler out here for no particular good reason. Another reason that this is a pain in the butt. Pain in the tuchus. But it will draw in all kinds of problems, and so what I like to do is keep the fencing up. That's here basically. Get a wall down the sides. You can get attacked from over here a lot, and so if you're really looking for a big build, you can wall it up on this way, but I usually try to make things a little tight, a little smaller in here, just unless I'm modded. Then I turn this whole place into a big city. Alright, let's get up here. We'll take a quick little peek and this will give you an idea. So basically this back area, which I really overdeveloped for some reason. I just needed to build something. You know, I love building. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things in this game. Pardon me 1 second. But you basically, you're looking at what I generally do here, particularly unmodded. So we've got a nice little obstacle setup here for when we do get attacked. You know, we got stuff to catch them on, hang up. I guess technically you could come out here and do some shooting. But really, it's just more of stuff to get bad guys hung up on and let the turrets do their job, and then the guards. Right in here we've got our farm. And again, you know, with Sunshine, Tidings, Sanctuary, and Abernathy, I mean, I've got enough food. I don't even necessarily need to put a farm here. But again, it's part of settlement domination, you guys. Get that food growing so you can pick it and sell it and make stuff with it. Now, I thought I put some stairs down here to get these idiots out of here last time. Must not have saved that one. Oh, here we go. Bang. Oh, yeah, they're dumb. Whatever. There we go. Got him out. Uh-oh. So, yeah. Good on you guys. This build limit is pretty much maxed, and it's just because I way overbuilt this place. But we're running inside. And generally what I like to do is just sort of build off this back, not wall, but the movie screen. I'm going to use that as my starting point for this, and then, you know, get some shops in here. Like you see here. Get my 6 shops going, and then, you know, have places for people to sleep. And then for whatever reason, I just got real extra on this build. For kicks and giggles, but it gives you a nice view. You know, once again, water and power, we want to try to keep that protected as much as possible. Though it kind of doesn't matter. It only matters when you're actually attacked with people here, I suppose. But if this settlement gets attacked while I'm away, and I don't come defend it, it'll just pick some random thing to bust. So keep that in mind. I don't know why I had this interior wall set up. I must have built that first and then built around it. But yeah, I don't really need all that stuff either. Anyway. Oh. Pizza. Alright. Pizza's a human being. Pizza has COVID. And Pizza has been drinking quite a lot of water. I need to take a quick break and run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Alright, back to it. So, yeah. Sir, you know what? More power to you. So, again, we should have this one turned off, I would think. Yeah. Because this settlement is, it's basically done. Well, I don't really even need that anymore. And then we want to run over here. I think I got it set up for 120. Yep, if you're really good and you plan a little better, you can get at least 150 water out of that little pond there. I swear to God, the weather is just blowing my mind on this video. Nighttime, radiation storms, and fog. Way to go, pizza. Alright, let's go sneak into here. This is where I throw my mods, usually. There we go, 81. Grab that. Oh, well, that's about all we can see and do here anyway, right? But not a bad little prototype if you are interested. Now, again, you don't have to go completely nuts like I did. But using, you know, get yourself protected, set up a little bit of obstacles where most of your problems are going to come from. Like I said, the other area tends to be from this side. You can get occasionally attacked from this back area. But because the settlers just wander around the outside of this for some reason, like that one settler that was walking out here for no good reason, she'll walk all the way around and here, and they just drag people in. It's ridiculous. So a little blocking over on this angle with some turrets is also highly recommended. And you might want a little protection on this side, but I've just pretty much blocked it off. So if we get too many issues, they'll just kind of have to come through here, won't they? Guess you're a pretty big target. Sorry, bud. Not a lot of room for you. Yeah, let's move on. Alright, I think I'm gonna run. Yeah, let's go to Taffington because this is problematic, and there's some stuff I can show you here too. Now, if you've actually watched the settlement domination videos I have before this, I'll cover pretty much what I'm going over now. But since I don't get a lot of, I think, people watching, I get randos watching, you know. One of the worst settlements to build in, also one of the best settlements to build in. It really just depends on your take on things. I do full wall this place. It's just easier for me to deal with some of the problems and the threats. And again, what my provisioner is going to drag in from the surrounding area, right? So, something to keep in mind. I like to build out onto the water here. But the problem being with that is this is another one of those settlements where you're going to run into a lot of issues with being able to place your shops. So we'll talk to this guy.
I'm sure I have something you need.
And you can see he'll sell to me.
Not now.
No problem.
But the guy beside him
Don't care much for good neighbor. That place is nothing but trouble.
doesn't work.
Hey,
Got a dangerous look about you. You ain't here for me.
And originally, and it does work sometimes if you build out here, and sometimes it doesn't. Isn't that fun? This is where my bar was supposed to be. This is where all my shops are supposed to be, up above here. Right. How awesome and convenient would that be? It certainly is when it works, right? Boom. But instead, everybody sleeps out here. And again, they'll come out here and they'll lay down and they'll go to sleep, but and they'll assign to beds. But if you put a store up here, it just doesn't work. On the interior here, we have our water setup and our electricity. This should be at least 200. You could get a lot more water here, especially if you build less. But again, I just try to keep it protected. And that's something to consider. I mean, if you want to set up 1,500 water here, you probably could. But again, the only merchants that are working are right... I don't even know if this one's working. Are you working?
Excuse me. Step right up. All the clothing fit to wear.
I don't think so.
Whatever you want.
So, yeah. I'd basically need to move this weapons guy as close to this house as possible. It's dumb. It does work on the interior though, so if you can set your shops up in here, the longer shops, you might want to use the interior instead. And because anytime you have an interior, especially if you're not that into building, you should have room to put beds down in here as well, and your shops, and you don't need to build all this craziness that I built. But I just wanted to point out this is another place to get large quantities of water. Speaking of which, I'll have a look. I even got a few bottle caps. And there we go, 86. Boom. Alright. So yeah, another water bill, like I said, it's really, you don't have to do like something like this. This is just pizza being extra because I like to build. And sometimes I just want to, you know, still enjoy that aspect of the game. But I never go, well, you might think this is pretty crazy, but I usually don't go too crazy in unmodded playthrough. Just not really worth it. Moving on. We'll run over to 10 Pines here. And 10 Pines is I just want you to see the setup here. And again, I've showed this in another video in this series. But there's a couple things here that I think are pretty helpful. For building here. Alright, so we should be about maxed out on the build budget, I would imagine. Yep.
I've had this mud for too long.
But that's okay because there's not really any more that I want to build here. Now this is another settlement where you get a lot of traffic. Or you might get a lot of traffic from having it as a provisioner hub for your buildings that are further along the coastline. And those provisioners tend to drag in problems. There's quite a few enemies that hang out and are around this area. And generally most of my problems come from this front part right here, where it's super heavily defended with turrets and what have yous. I try to block it off as best as possible with a couple ways for them to get out and in. So we have the front entrance here. And then I find that because a lot of people are back here farming, this little side entrance and exit also helps them come out when they need to come fight the problems that tend to show up, like I said, in this general area through here. A lot of robot attacks if you have that DLC. So, but it's a small settlement. It's not a lot to it, and I just want to show how you can sort of maximize without having to do too much. Here, so junk walls, some concrete, some turrets, not even, you know, I try to avoid the laser turrets because they just shoot too far. And again, you're going to start engaging things that you don't really need to and bringing stuff in. You know, some random Yaguaiawanan out there doesn't necessarily have to get brought over here, so. Got your basic starch farm. You'll see a lot of that. Starch is super important. We got a few, work things, workbenches and stations. We've got a little bit of water here. I'm not doing fake water here because there's just not enough room and space in the build. But they're not pulling water off of my other bases that are generating the extra water. So there's that to consider. In fact, they're making a little bit extra with 13 settlers and 24 water. We go inside, we got a shop set up, right? Got a place for them to sit down and hang out. These things, by the way, now if you build them with this Nuka-Cola stuff, I think it takes cloth and steel, but if you use the older ones, it just takes steel, so you don't have to worry about too much cloth. Get a few more workbenches. Here's where everybody sleeps. And the rest of my shops. So we got this is one of the 10 and 6s. It's got the 6 merchants here that I can come and trade. And there it goes. This place is always popping off. Alright, so we can go to the general store here.
Let's see what you have.
Let me know what you like.
I should change my clothing, right, so I can get the best prices. But yeah. So general goods stores, you know, usually if I go for extra stores, you could just do 3 or you could do 4 general goods stores, a bar, and I don't know, something else you feel like you might want. Armor, it's pretty good. I think they have a decent amount of money, the armor guys. But let's see what he's got here. We'll go to the ammo. Now you just don't have much at all, do you? Really just junk. But most importantly, what you can get from this guy, of course, is the mats down here. And we'll pick something kind of low. We'll grab a shipment of concrete. For 120. We'll run over here to the aid category. We'll take some of this purified water, which just sitting on me right now is about 3,000 calves. Right. Not only did we negate that transaction with just purified water, but we've already made $10, right? We'll sell a little bit more. There we go. Good to go. So we lost weight, we got rid of the purified water. All we did was pick up a shipment, which doesn't weigh much. Or anything, I don't know. And then I took his money too. So that's the idea. Right. Run over to the clinic.
If you need fixing up, let's get a look at you.
Actually, I need some supplies for the road.
And this will give you an idea. So he had
Go
about
easy on the chems.
300 and some change, but she's got 600 and some change, right? So you can come through here. Actually, I could use a little bit of Radaway. Got a little bit of that. Pop on over. Go to the aid. Purified water. There we go. Basically negated that transaction. Pop back in. Bada bing. Bada boom. So, again, I got what I wanted. I bartered for what that was. Didn't really pay any caps out, right? Just traded water for it. And then sold her the rest of my purified water to take the rest of her cash and build up my cap stack. And that's all you do. And then you just run down your line the merchants. And like I said, you know, different merchants have different amounts of money. You can figure out which ones have the most on your own. I think
You hear
bartenders,
about that farm run by ghouls? Isn't that something?
the only thing, I think
What
they have the
am I
least amount of money.
I'll
Pop
take a
in
look.
here.
Sure. Great.
So about 221 bucks. But you know, again, you want to come here. You can use, dirty water is a good thing to have. So you can trade purified water for dirty water, basically. Get your beers, get your nukas. Especially if you're when you're first trying to start, you know, hit up merchants for things like crops you can start planting. Some things you can't plant, like tar berries, right? And all the good drinks and what have you. So we'll just pay the $6. But again, I could have traded purified water for that, and taken her cash as well. I'm assuming I'm assuming that was one of my provisioners in fight, but apparently they finished it. And problem solved. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty just a big square, right? A big old Minecraft square box. I like to have the windows on just so I can see out of. That's why I like the warehouse and the farm stuff. But yeah. Simple 10 pine setup. Good way to get your 6 merchants in. You've got extra food here. And that should start. And here we got, because I have all those merchants here and a decent amount of people here. You make more caps the more people you have. So having, you know, 10 merchants, let's say 10 merchants and 20 people in your settlement, you're going to make more caps that way. But corn, mute fruit, even the purified water is starting to build up. Now, this was a tato farm. It's always been a tato farm. There's taters here. See any taters in here? Like I said, it doesn't make any sense to me. But you don't have to worry about that, because if you want taters,
Seems
just
to be growing well.
go out here and pick them, right? And if you feel like it, again, go sell it to your people. Oh yeah. Or just chuck it in there. And since I have a provisioner, I can use those potatoes wherever they are. Anyway, 10 pines. Now we'll run over to Zamanja. This is another one that's really can be, I would think, considered a difficult place to build. But there are a lot of ways around it. And including the ability, and again, I like to set up some obstacles. A lot of problems are going to pop over here. As you can see, there's a turret. Well, you probably can't see, but I just shot at a turret. And this turret and the bad guys, they just keep coming back. It resets, so... do what you will with that information, but again, if your provisioner's walking past there, you got problems. I usually do exactly what you see here, or some version of this. And I'd like to point out, you don't have to put these down. You can just put a ladder down and start attaching boards and have this completely float in the sky. Right? So you could still farm underneath here if you wanted. But again, I don't really do too much with this one. I really just, this is just another place to go hit up merchants and sell stuff to, you know. Another place to have a little bit of extra food. Again, I try to stick with stuff that's easy to stack in here, because it is really tight.
Seems to be growing well.
So mute fruit, carrots. and potatoes. And there's a good example of how close you can get these carrots together. And your potatoes too. So, again, all we're doing is bringing in a little extra food. And the water's probably set to either 23. We don't have 23 people here, so more than likely there's water starting to build up in the workshop. Let's take a look. And there's our 300 caps, so we can just grab that while we're here. You can see we're up to 15 grand. I don't know what I started at, but here's our carrots. Random crap. I don't know about a scrapper here. Probably not. I do like to have scrappers in all my settlements too. But yeah, there we go. See, yeah. So we're even building up purified water here if you want. There's potatoes. Excuse me. And I can throw that Yagwai meat in here, and I can use it anywhere else that there's a provision connected to this workshop. And that's it, man. There's really not, like I said, not much to it. You don't have to build something like this ridiculous. The reason I have this is, again, so I can have my merchants in here. I try to basically do one building to do everything that I need. And that's what we got going on here. So again, in the daytime, I could come here and trade, pick up any mats or guns or whatever. You want to put an armor in here or a gun salesman, whatever you want, right? You can come buy that stuff here too. Well, technically trade. So if you ever come to Zumaja and been like, what a dump, you're not wrong. But it's also pretty easy to defend because all I really need to do is stick something right here. And because we have this natural sort of blockade, we got a little wall on the back. And this is another example of, again, where I try to show using your structure as your wall. Right? Make it 2 in 1. That way you're not putting down a wall and a structure. And yeah, we're pretty well blocked off, pretty well ready to go. And like I said, nothing to it, man. Beds down here, everybody's chilling. Shops up top. A few around the yard. I'm good to go. 10 and 6, y'all. 10 and 6. And again, if you want to, I like to throw a few workbenches around in case I need to do something while I'm here doing whatever I'm doing. But that's not even really necessary. So, Zamanja. We're going to go pop out. Now, these I did more recently. And I'm really just curious to see what I've got going on. And again, I want to see if I have any beacons on. And these can be pretty tough places to build. So I can give you a few hints on how to build here too. And this one is, again, should be a little more fanciful, is that a word? A little more just made up. But there are ways to build here and get what you need. And actually, this is a pretty decent area for a farm, so. Can't really place things down in here, so I wouldn't. Unless it was like maybe sleeping bags, but there's a great big hole in the ground here that I've covered up. You can see it down here. Right. And, you know, we're not looking for anything, like I said, you know, particularly in unmodded playthrough. I just, you know, we just want to get the people in. We want the beds down, give them a little bit of protection, and get those shops going. So, yep. try to keep people from getting stuck. So here we've got our shop and our little bar set up here so people can hang out. And then our crops are back here in the back. Again, this is a pretty decent area for growing crops in. And then up top, we got a few more beds. And a little wall back here. Because you can occasionally get some issues from this back area. Pardon me one moment. Alright, what do we got going on? Okay, so I am bringing people in here. Got 6 people, 18 food. Okay. Oh man, let's see if anybody's unassigned. I would think pretty much everybody here has a job. So again, yeah, I'm trying to get those 6 merchants going. Guard 2, right? Like I said, a scrapper doesn't hurt. And your settlement either. It just keeps adding junk into your workbench there, and you can just kind of come pick that up, scrap it, use it, do whatever you want with it. Whenever you want. This place I don't really have too many trouble with being, honestly, being attacked much, or the provisioners bringing in, you know, outside issues, threats. What's this place called again? County Cross? No. Coastal Cottage. Coast Cottage is, like I said, it's a pretty easy fire and forget. There we go. Long Neck Lukowski's. That's where you can pick up Trader Riley. Alright. We'll pop on over to Kingsport. This is one of my favorite settlements. It's a good place to build. Never had any issues with placing merchants around the place. You can get a pretty good build going on here. And the nice thing about this place, of course, is it's got, again, you could probably easily set up, you know, 1,500 water here. Wouldn't even stop you. But again, I probably got to set up for about 200. What you do. So 3 settlements with 200 water is 600 water. That's a lot of water. Gives you an idea. Anyway. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 right here. Number 5 right there. I imagine I stuck another one down somewhere. We got our crops over here. The bar, there's 6. So, and this is a good place to catch settlers that are unassigned. So let's go find you a job as a merchant. I'm sure there's several of these open to be used. We need armor, clinic, clothing. Yeah, we'll just do them in order, huh? And there you go. So yeah, anytime you put those, well, any chairs, try to centralize them in a place where you can find it, get rid of any randos. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I've actually built a roof on this thing before, but whatever. You know. We're doing what we can for these people. And then you've got a ton of room down here to build as well. So, you know, you can build out onto the water. You can build out onto this thing. Like I said, shops work out here. You know, I'll put shops out back here sometimes. So, and we got some beds. And again, this is one of those places that comes with a structure. So, you're not too big a fan of building. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to build all this. You don't even have to cover this up if you don't want to, right? But I always like to have a little place that seems and feels a little bit more realistic for them to hang out in. And that's it, man. We're not even halfway to the build size. If you look at the top right on that blue bar, you can see it's not even halfway across the area. So you can build a ton here. And even with me knowing that and me being crazy about building, you can see I kept it pretty simple. Again, we got our power somewhat protected. Our water's down here. Now, I will say there are some problems with attacks on this one because you'll have bad guys come through this area. So you got to remember to come down here sometimes you're being attacked. And for whatever reason, they'll get caught up in this area too. So keep that in mind if your settlement's under attack and you're like, where is... They could be stuck under here, hanging out. And that's with stuff built or not. Bro. Bro. No! But yeah, get crazy, get creative, or don't. You don't have to here. You don't really have to in any of these places. And I think what you see here is actually a fairly simple setup. You know, if you think about it. Just two structures. And some goodies and some walls and a few obstacles just in case you get an issue up front. Like I said, these are really for me. Now, I will say this. This is not... And you'll see a lot of the settlements that I have taken aren't ones that have a mission. Abernathy has a mission. But the children of Adam live here. Yes. And they will mess you up. This is a very... In fact, I have a video of me trying to take this place. And it took maybe a good, I would say close to 10 minutes to get everything done here and killed. And you might think, well, I killed everybody, what happened? But at the top, there's a special little surprise waiting in there. You should go check it out. I won't ruin it. But yeah. The server of this place can be a mess. Actually, you know what I want to do? Is this blown up? It should be blown up. I think it's blown up. Okay, yeah. Oh, shit. There we go. Yeah, there's a ton of landmines around here. Children of Adam with their radiation guns. This is no joke. This is a pretty tough place to take. But once you get it, and you know, let's go. Illustrate another point.
Back hurts, feet hurt, everything hurts.
As long as you've got the power and the ability to run lines. There's just you know, tons of space. You saw it. If you saw it, it flashed in for a minute. If you can't get the big ones in, you can start putting in some of the smaller ones. For Christ's sakes. But usually you can squish in quite a bit of water in this area. I got 200 going here now. Like I said, if I wanted to start using some of the smaller ones, yeah, we could start sinking some of these in too. all the way right out to the edge here. Even past it, looks like. Right there, see? I could probably get another 6 to 7 of them right in there. 4 or 5, you get the idea. You can have just a lot of water here if you'd like. Okay. Are we pulling? No. Which is good because, you know, with 10 people here, I want to be more careful. You know, you don't really need. I usually, depending on the settlement, you know, sometimes I'll go 20, but other times, most of the time I'll go like, let's say 12 to 15. All right. Got to take another bathroom break. Sorry, guys. It's COVID. Alright. And we're back. My throat's getting a little scratchy. COVID. So I got a sparkling water. Black cherry flavored. There we go. Maybe the bubbles will help. I don't know. Helps my stomach. Yo, COVID is garbage. All you jerks out there like, I don't want to wear a mask. You're the reason I have COVID. I wear a mask. You're like, see, it doesn't even work. I haven't had cold in 2 years. Okay? It wasn't until my family got it from some dumbasses. My daughter was working at a... she's a volunteer at a food bank. And she came by. She happened to share that.
Keep your eye out for the rail signs. Besides the goodie bags, tourist and agents have left valuable intel.
Shut up! God, you talk too much. Worst follower ever. Anyway, so... yeah. And actually, I think I'm on my second variant, thanks to my son, who works at a drugstore. And you'll never guess. People with COVID go to get their COVID tests and their COVID medicine. So, I mean, we all kind of knew that one was coming anyway. Just because of where he works. But, yeah. Close proximity to my own family members that have COVID. That's how I got it. And they got it from people who don't wear masks at their places of employment and places where they give their charitable time. Because they don't have to. Oh, and by the way, yeah, all vaccinated. In fact, my daughter can't even work at that food bank unless people are vaccinated. So, talk about some crap. And yes, it wiped out the food bank. Because some dumbass couldn't wear their mask and went to work sick. We don't live in that world anymore. Quit it. In fact, it was dumb. I worked in the restaurant business in varying ways for a large part of my life. And I couldn't stand it when I had bosses that were like, I don't care, man. You're coming in. You need to come in or you're fired. Oh. Food, too. Yeah. Anyway. Got a little sidetracked, didn't I? Nice. Made me happy. Big explosions. Ooh. Come here, dummy. Did you start that? I bet you did. Naughty feller. Kingsport Lighthouse. Great place. Good water base. Alright, we'll pop over to Croup. Now, Croup really isn't, even though it's on the ocean, you can't build any water purifiers into the water. Wonder whose genius idea that was. Let's build it on the ocean, but like the rest of our settlements will make water stupid. Okay. Another great place, particularly if you're not into building, to build. It doesn't take too much. You see I've got a few guards around here. This place does have problems with attacks. There's a lot of bad guys around here.
Didn't I see this set in a
And again, you're going to run into your provisioners dragging the problems that are around you into the settlement. That whole back area is just bad news, you guys. Just bad news. So, but it's definitely a good settlement, I think, for merchants and a farm. And there's a lot of easy things and ways to build here. So you'll see I've just built this basic structure again. Nothing too fancy. And by putting these bricks like I did, again, you've kind of built a wall by just using the base. So we got our bar in here. I always like to have a real bar set up on my premises, place for people to sit and goof around after work, and also to catch any settlers that I bring into the settlement. You know, you can pull these guys out if you want and chuck them wherever you feel like, but they'll just be back. So, I don't really bother with it. And another problem with this one is occasionally they'll come back to life. Yes, that's right. I'll have to kill these guys again. So, not really sure how that works or why, but whatever. But, and isn't this fun? Come on. Who doesn't want to have this in their house? That's Larry. Hey, Larry. Thanks for joining us today, bud. You've got an interior structure. Clear out what you can. Get rid of whatever you can. And you can pretty much just throw all your beds down here. And in this area. Pretty simple, isn't it? And then out here, I usually like to build, you know, you can put shops up here too. If you don't want them just in kind of like a ring like you see down here. But also, if you're not that interested, you can really just sort of bring your shops around this area. It's pretty simple. Alright, got the farm in the back. I usually put it right where you see it. Exactly like this. You don't have to worry really about getting any problems from bad guys back here. They can't get up here. There's no way for them to get up here. So, pretty safe for them to farm and hang out. No big deal. But like I said, I do like to set up a few obstacles, a few turrets. And this is so they can't really reach it, you know what I mean? So they're just going to get blasted. And that's all you really need here. You know, like I said, you know, nice farm, 6 merchants, man. It's a really easy one to get the 10 and 6 part of that 10 and 6. And again, it's not too problematic here as far as like attacks, because again, they're really only coming from the front. Right here, really just like through this area. Although you can have problems from this side, but as long as you have something down here where they can't really get up and through. I don't know why I didn't close this off. Nope, that's probably why. Because it's goofy and wants to snap all weird. Why can't I hook that up? That's weird. Anyway, if you run into issues like that, you could throw down something weird, you know. But usually I use these. There you go. Yeah, I don't think they can really get up that way. So yeah, as long as you've got this side blocked off, and then something to kind of keep things, you know, again, they can't get up these rocks. If they get up through here, they're going to run into this. Have to come this way, and they run into the meat grinder. Same thing on this side, really just trying to keep them from coming up the sides too much, or somewhere that it's a little harder for me to defend, but another thing to remember is that generally you want to have your defense higher than your water and food, right? So I don't really have enough defense right now because my water and food is 38 and my defense capability is 28, which means it's more likely to get attacked. But once you get over that number, right? Now we're at 44. The amount that your settlements are going to be attacked is going to be greatly reduced. There's just not that much here, first of all, for them to want, 18 food, 20 water, So it's not that appealing. But in my bases where I have 200 water, let's say, and 54 food, well, I need like 260 defense to really reduce that, and that's probably not going to happen. So your water bases tend to get attacked a bit more than your standard, just I need merchants and food. Peek in here, we even got 100 bottle caps here. We'll grab that while we're here. Oh, well, we'll leave it in there. Bunch of plastic. And yeah, even our purified water is building up here. And that's it. Like I said, this is one of the easier ones. It's not that hard to take down. There's a bunch of ghouls. Obviously, you got to kill, and then you've got to kill some pretty hefty ghouls in the basement, which you need to find a key. Like, I think you have to find a key to a room so you can get a key to go down to the basement. The basement is its own cell. It loads up when you go inside or whatever. But you got to kill those guys too if you want to take the settlement. But that's it, man. Like I said, one of the easiest bases you can make. Like I said, if you're really not into building, what a great place to set up, because it's on the coast. It's convenient to certain things on this side of the map. You got a decent amount of space, room for a nice enough farm, and a structure you can just throw stuff in. Isn't that right, Decalm? Poof. Alright. We're going to go hit one of the worst settlements, Hangman's Alley. Now see, what you'll notice is most of these settlements are settlements that you can get just by killing what's here. So you don't have to do a mission. And there are certain settlements that you can only gain access through a faction. So I think there's a farm called Somerville, and another place called maybe Nordham Beach or something like that. Northern Beach or Nordham. They're not going to be able to get those unless you get them through a faction. But these are bases you can just roll in and kill something. Alright, Hangman's Alley. What a dump, right? I only have 8 settlers here. One of them's a robot, right? Wow. They don't do anything. They're technically farming.
Seems to be growing well.
I suppose, and doing stuff. But all they really do is just stand around in here. It can be hard to get your shops going as well. What you'll notice is
Another day of hard work. Never
Just wanted to
changes.
trade a few things.
Sure thing.
anyway, I think time of day, most of these
I
people
just
are
want
off.
to trade a few things.
Of course.
So, but you can kind of walk up to them out here, and, the clothing person will still be able to be a clothing merchant, even though they won't necessarily stand where they're supposed to. But yeah, this is one of the best places to show how you don't have to be too serious about the building. You can literally just throw some stairs down and start building. Now I put wood down here just because I could, I made it work. And really one of the only places you can farm is back in this area. If you have like the crop plots, you can put those down. And I usually a lot of times I'll make a flat space somewhere along in here where I can grow food as well. And you can see you can just keep kind of going up if you want to. You can build really, really high here, so you could definitely put more levels in. But all I really did was try to line up these stairs so I could at least get this first level going here. Like I said, we've got hangout, shops, room for shops, and then shops and beds. So if you come here and you're like, geez, I hate this place, just put some stairs down and start building off of those. You don't have to do anything fantastic. And like I said, as they don't care about physics, so you don't need to care about physics in this game.
Yes.
Super dangerous area. Your provision, that gets attacked all the time. Your provision is going to be getting into scraps all the time. And every time you come here, there's a gun battle between super mutants and the Diamond City guards. So keep that in mind. It's really just kind of a dump, but it's not a bad place to throw up 6 merchants. So you can get them in here. You can use the space that you have. You can build in this place, so keep that in mind. And then, so Eager Tours doesn't have a provisioner? That can't be right. Because I built there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll go check it out. Now this one I actually built kind of ridiculous because I actually used this as an example for building here and different things you can do to build here. Yep, no provisioner. Guess I lost the provisioner.
You do the talking.
Anybody got armor?
I'll let you know afterwards.
Oh, alright,
Hey,
you're the...
I just wanted to introduce myself.
Okay.
This looks like a decent enough place.
Sure.
So, you know, thanks for giving us the chance.
You know?
Place you want me to pitch in?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Just looking to trade a little.
Let's trade first. Alright, so, you know, you go with what you want. I like the army fatigues. You're going to give them, and these are armored, by the way. Because I've, you know, I'm doing stuff with the railroad. So they get that base 90-90, that's nice. You know, this doesn't really help them, but it does have endurance. And then I also like to use the Minutemen outfit, particularly if you can get it armored. Again, it's going to have a little agility and perception, so I don't know really how that works for them, but hopefully it helps some. But we got some armor clothing, so we'll stick them in those. And I brought some stuff just in case. Huh. Oh well, no left arm. Or no right arm from this guy. So sorry. Yeah, give him some goggles, increases perception. this for me. You know, I try to give them helmets or something when I can. Here, we'll throw the hard out on them. I think all I got is like a 10mm. Oh, I got the combat rifle. We'll give them that. Now, what I like to do is unequip this. That's not a bad gun, though. Unequip this. And then what we want to do is equip the 308. Even though we don't have the ammo in there, then we'll go to this. They only need one bullet. And you'll see that the round lit up. So now we know that that 308 round is loaded into his rifle. And that's all he needs, man. He's good to go. Alright. And what do we got? Well, Hangman's Alley it is, bud. We are drawing people in here. That's good to know. And you can replace my old provisioner. I don't really know what happened there. Hey, we got a cow. Now, another thing I like to do is get these cows caught whenever I can, whenever I'm in one of these places, because I want the fertilizer. There you go. And it should get its stuff together and go walk over there. And that fertilizer is going to build up in the settlement over time. So yeah, I built a lot of goofy stuff around here just because I wanted to show different aspects of what you could do, including filling in this floor here, as you can see, and making a little bridge to cross. This is another place where you can get 200 water. Boom, 200 water.
What's up?
Got a little bar down here. Once again, this will help me catch settlers. It'll give them something to do. It'll give them a little animation. Adds a little life to the whole build, right? And shows that you can build out this way and use this area to build quite a big structure if you really want to. Go back and watch that video, because there's a lot of stuff I show that I kind of scrapped and got rid of too. But I do want to point out this goofy thing over here. This goofy thing over here is seriously important, because for whatever reasons your provisioners, and this is another place, it's a good place for a hub to have several provisioners come to. But what will happen is they'll get on top of this building right here, this little fishing boat house, and they'll stay up there forever. And I do mean forever. I don't really think it affects anything, but it irritates me. So if you get your ladder lined up like I did here, I took 2 ladders actually, or get up here and then put your boards down. You only need these section here, but I just thought to go ahead and throw my power up here. But if you don't have this here and a wall to protect them from the bad guys, in this ladder, you're just going to have your, let's say I've got 4 provisioners coming to this, all 4 will end up sitting on top of this roof forever. So this little setup right here will set you up so they can leave. An example of using my structure as my wall, same thing, we blocked off that entire back area on this side. Not a lot of problems actually from this side. You get attacks coming down this road. I literally don't really have too many issues coming from this side over here. But for me, your biggest problems are going to be on this corner and along this wall right here. This wall right here, and you can see the gun can't shoot over it. You don't want your guns to be able to shoot across this wall or over it, because there's a bunch of stupid deer that live out here. And they're going to draw aggro from your settlers over and over. And what they'll do is they'll run away, right? And your settlers are going to follow them. And they'll get caught up with Yawai, ghouls over this way. There's a lot of bad guys in this area. And these deer will drag your stupid settlers right to them. So what I do is I try to keep them from being able to get near my base, to be able to get in the line of fire of most of my settlers. It's really going to trap them. And they will come right through here. And hopefully the turrets will take care of business. A lot of times I'll put a guard up here too. Crop plots are going to be a big help here, because it's really hard to grow stuff in this area. You kind of got to just dot stuff around where you can. I mean, there's some places in this cement you can plant, but not really. If that's not working for you, you have this strip of dirt right here you can plant. So, but I have the crop plots, so I usually put them down right back in this spot like you see here. So again, here we have another basic setup for my shops. Get those going, and then places for people to sleep, man. It's not that hard. We got 12 beds and 9 people. Oh, let's get another. Now here, you know, you have some options, but I think the best thing to use in these crop plots is going to be your mute fruit. So, you know, that's all I usually just plant in these at this place. And basically there's only room for 4 things, so you're going to end up using more crop plots if you use anything other than mute fruit.
Got it.
Like I said, these chairs right here are great ways to catch settlers. And I usually leave the couch in here too. This is another good place to find them. But now we got a few more merchants. We got a little more food. I'm gonna throw some more beds down. Usually I put like I like Eager Tours. I like to spend a lot of time here. It's another centrally kind of located place, so usually I'll put some workbenches and some storage on this one down here. But you could easily just throw all your beds in, as long as you get this filled in. And then upstairs I can show you another little deal that I do, and that's build this kind of flat surface through here. I think I might have been low on cloth. Now you do what you want for beds. 3 cloth, this is the cheapest you're gonna get, so. Now we're covered up to 20. Forget about that. Let the rest of things take care of itself.
Convincing the next raw recruit that I'm actually.
So, other than a few, like maybe a wall through here, I definitely want to block these deer. They just cause so much problems. You know, you've got everything you need here. You don't really need to build any of this. You could just use this central building. Like I said, as long as you really just kind of throw this down, right, and you just try to line it up to the side here as best you can. You see I got a little crooked, but you get a nice little walkway to get from this spot to this spot. You got tons of room here, and if you throw down a ceiling up top, man, you don't need anything but this one building. And there's room in this one too. As you can see, we got somebody laying down here, but you can clean some more of this up, throw some more beds down. It's real easy to build in here too, if you want, and put a roof on and everything. Right. So you get your floor down, get it set up, put a few walls on, put a roof on, boom, another whole structure. It doesn't really take much of anything. At all. Alright, we're good. And I got a couple merchants going, and we got another. The food should be a little bit better. Somebody, one more crop plot. And then I'm golden. Alright. Again, sorry folks, I need that 3-minute quick break. And that, my friends, is Eager Tours. Like I said, actually 100% one of my favorite places to build, modded or unmodded. It's just a great spot. I wanted to point out that generator up there. I mean, look at the stupid stuff you can do here, too. Remember, mechanics are what you make them, right, in this game. And if it's blowing your immersion, all right, I get you. But if you're really not into building, remember, you can pretty much float anything that you want. Is it not hooked up? Oh, it is. Good. This thing. Part of the Vault Tech DLC. I put these pretty much in every single settlement because if you don't, for whatever reason, your people will randomly unassign themselves from jobs. Right? So I do have more plots. I thought so. And right now what it's telling me is that there's no... Every settler that's in this settlement has a job right now. But if I didn't, I could go ahead and just assign them. It'll pick whatever rando that isn't assigned. If you want, like, you know, if you're into, like, I don't know, you want a guy or a girl bartender, if that kind of stuff matters to you, and you want to assign them yourself, go for it. I usually just assign them myself unless I can't find somebody. I did feel like the... Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That's 18, 30. Oh, plus 2. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm going to throw down these last 4 mute fruits for the next... now, the next settler that comes in, if this food is available for them to pick, hopefully they'll just start farming. But yeah, even though it isn't necessary, I like to have every single settlement self-sufficient with water, at least 20 water, and at least 20 food, which actually generally works out to be about 24 food. Is what it is. Isn't that right, Mr. Cow? Yes, it is. Look at you, adorable. But yeah, you know, you got a lot of space to build in if you want. And a lot of space to build in if you don't want to build. I mean, you know. Plenty of places to stick beds and shops without having to do a darn thing. You just stick them out here like this clinic. You know what I'm saying? So. Oakley dokley. Moving on. Yeah, I think I hit them all, didn't I? Alright, so we got 2 more at Red Rocket. That's good. Yeah, just sort of building their own little army, right? Yeah. Nothing going on there. That's fine. I'll let those go. So what I'm into is getting to the point where the settlements are either going to take a mission, and it doesn't have to necessarily be connected with a faction, but you do have to go do something. And so yeah, let's do something here where although I would like to get to Vault 88, pretty far out there, isn't it? One of the best places to build. It helps unlock some really cool things you can put in your settlements that'll bring up happiness level and a few extra jobs actually that you can assign people to. And mostly what I want from them are the gambling machines, but it's also a massive network of caves where you can build settlement. I usually don't even clear out the whole system of caves, just the main area and build in that, but you do what you need to do. And you can build a vault in there if you want, or you can just sort of throw some stuff down, you know. feel like I need Jamaica Plain set up first, though. Anyway, that's the basic tour of what I got going on. You can see we're still building up merchants. We still don't have those 60 merchants, I don't think. But I'm getting close. And essentially, well, I didn't gather water either. I should have from that last Kingsport and wherever. But yeah, so like I said, there's some really great settlements. There's even settlements you can get water from, but we're running into the ones where you're going to start doing missions. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you can put shipments directly into your workbench, right?
Hey boss, you mean to drop that?
What's going on? They won't let me go into build mode. Okay. But I'd rather just scrap them and actually have the concrete just go in there. So, personally. And Hargraves, you're looking pretty beefy. Why don't you have a store? She's one of the few merchants that'll give you some cool stuff. And you want to build the highest level store you can build for her. Whatever. Guess they're going to bed. Oh, for Christ's sakes. That's why I hate this place. You turn around for 2 seconds and they're gone. They're just gone. That's why you gotta get rid of all these chairs too. Try to keep them, like I said, in a central area so you can catch them. I lost her. She's over here in the... There we go. Come here, Ann. And she will have some special gear that you can only get from her.
You know what I call a good day? One that ends without an end.
Let's see what kind of clothes you've got for sale.
And so you can get clean stuff from her. That's nice, right? The Colonial Duster, like I said, you can get stuff you can't normally get from some of these other folks. You got all the laundered stuff here. Pastor's vestments, yeah. I thought I built the highest one. Anyway. That'll work for now. Now, am I pulling in settlers or not? No. I just have an extra settler that's not doing anything. Not for long, bro. Broette, if I can find you now. Got plans on you. Alright, miss. We want Jamaica Plain. There you go. Well, we're going to toss her out of here. And then we'll run up to Red Rocket and get that other one that was loose up there. I think there's two, actually. And generally what you want to do is try to get 2 people to your new settlement. Oh, whoops. So you can get a provisioner and someone making food. we go. And I'll just try to give her something, you know. No, robot stuff's not bad. Whatever. Gonna work. Oh, let's grab a gun. Gonna work. I mean, I'll do how you like. I like to arm my people pretty well when I can. You know, you can scrap a bunch of this crap, or you can load your people up. Oh, and modded playthroughs, they all are always postman. I just love it. Postman with dogs, not Brahma, but they can't do that anymore. PlayStation took my fun away. Took my favorite thing to do with this game and just wrecked it. Just wrecked it. Alright, so first up, we'll look around for anybody that's not doing anything. Go up to the bar. There we go, unassigned, 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 unassigned. So, you're going, oh. Okay, so see how when I put it on him and it quickly disappears, the blue outline? Yeah, you're gonna need to get out of this. Go back in. Try again. And as long as it fades off of them, it's gonna be real hard to send them where you need to send them. So we can try to grab them real quick. I'll see if this works. It can also take a while. So let's see what happens. As you can see, the people on the left, it should be down to 14, but it's not. There he goes. He's gone now. And then they're both gone. Alright, good. So they'll head to Jamaica Plain eventually. That's 3. That's fine. That's a good start. And that leaves me 1 extra plus this guard here if I want to send him to start another settlement. Now the issue is, of course, is that they've got to get there. And even though I sent them before me, I promise you they won't be there yet. It can also be really hard to hook your people here in Jamaica Plain. And you can see it says there's 3 people there now. And until they get there and I assign a provisioner, the happiness is just going to tank. Pretty hard. Jamaica Plain's not really that important of a settlement. Again, I did a video on building here. You can go back and watch that. I'm probably not going to do too much today. And in fact, can't really do much of anything until some of these knuckleheads get here. So what I'm going to do is just run upstairs. There's one bed here, I think. Yep. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Probably going to take a little longer than that. Now this guy is part of the railroad missions. We don't really need to deal with him right now. There we go. Hey, buddy. You're about to be a provisioner.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to trade some items.
Go ahead.
Toss him the assault rifle. Oh, I also like to give him a cocktail. And some 5.56. Oh, wait, no. Turn on the rifle. There we go. Don't forget to turn the Molotov on. Armor him up as best as we can. Nope. Yep. I'm missing the left leg. There we go. Boom. Now you're provisioner. Welcome to the machine. Closest would be Egret, I think. Yep. Let's see how close he is to the else. It can be really hard to assign people here. Boom. Now he's a provisioner. Now you can see my food and water are in the red right now, right? Pop out. Pop back in. And you'll see my food and water are in the green, blue, whatever you want to call it. That's because it's pulling food and water off my other settlements. I don't really even need to put any food and water here, but I will. There's some of my other people. We'll get that fixed soon. There we go. Now for here, you know, there's some wild stuff you can do here. I'll let you figure that out. Let's see if we can catch this lady right here real quick. And again, we're not going to go for anything too particularly exciting right now. Again, I built some pretty neat stuff here and showed you some really cool stuff you can do here. If you'd like to go check out another video of mine. Look at Pizza trying to get some love here. And some of his other videos. Come on. It works here sometimes. There it goes. And sometimes it doesn't. So now our defense is higher than our water and food. Shouldn't be too many problems out here. There he is. We want one shop. We want this one. Boom, you're a bartender. Alright. So happiness is going up. They got food, they got water, they got beds. I can send people here and slowly build this place up. Good to go. And again, really depending on how you want to do things. Like I said, there's another video that I show you how to just maximize and get a ton of space. The ability to plant a ton of food. It just check that video out. It's in the settlement building for Domination series. Might be 3.1. When you look around, there's this stuff reappears over and over again, so you can get melons and check it out. We got a Vault Tech lunchbox with a Nuka-Cade ticket. Not too shabby. This guy, like I said, he works with the railroad. We'll deal with him another time. But there is a psychopath that lives over there and some raiders. You're going to have to deal with them. And then there can be a ridiculous amount of feral ghouls that'll pop back up even after you've cleared them out. But yeah, quick little setup for just using the stuff that you got here. Pretty easy. Alright. I think this is a good place to call this one a video. Basically back up to where I was before anyway. And I've got a good review. I know what's going on. I have a general idea where I'm drawing in settlers from. Which settlements need some work. A little bit of focus. And then time to start taking down a few more settlements, and then it's time to start actually getting this railroad playthrough going. And I'm calling it 100% my last Fallout 4 playthrough. Pretty much done with this game. Oh, you know what else we want to do? Get rid of this stuff that can blow up in your face or around your provisioners or settlers. When you can. Because all it does is draw problems. You're going to get in a fight, and eventually it's going to blow up near some of your people. So I really do try to get rid of any and all vehicles that can blow up right near my settlements. Green Top is another place where you want to get rid of a bunch of cars. Where's Green Top at? No, that one's dead. Don't really need this. Alright. Like I said, I feel pretty good about this one. I feel pretty much set up and ready to go for everything else that I'm planning on doing. I think I'll do another one in this series in particular because there's a couple settlements where I could actually do some building. And see how that goes. Let's show off a little bit.
Man, you really like to wander, don't you? I've seen more of the wealth with you than I have the rest of my years combined.
Bro, we're just getting started. And then get back to finishing up this, the end of Fallout 4, y'all. The end of Fallout 4. You know, as a player that's been playing for a really long time, it's one of those things where you think, man, there was a time where I didn't think I would ever even say that. Honestly, I thought, man, I could just keep doing this and doing this and doing this. Especially with the mods, especially with all the things that I know about this game. But, yeah. We're heading on the way out, y'all. On the way out. And of course, if they try to dick around and make this Xbox exclusive for Fallout 5, you know, when it comes out in 2037, I won't be playing that either. But in the meantime, if you happen to catch this, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you see this at a later time or date, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, I hope you guys are having a good day, and y'all be good to each other.